So what is the Nnamdi Kanu factor? What is the Nnamdi Kanu factor? We have to address very important thing, one other important argument that the article of Mike Arnold touches. Though it was not obvious, but indirectly he touched that very area. And that is this, that movements often become identified with one individual. History provides example to this. Number one, Gandhi and Indian independence. Number two, Nelson Mandela and anti-apartheid. Number three, Martin Luther King Jr. and civil rights. This is how individuals are identified with their movements. So when you mention the individual, anywhere you mention Mahatma Gandhi, people already know where you're going. Anywhere you cite the example of Nelson Mandela, people understand, oh, apartheid, how he entered apartheid in South Africa. If you talk about the civil rights movement, some people will say, oh, Martin Luther King Jr., okay, which is racial discrimination, a fight against it to bring about equality in America. Individuals are identified with their movements. So Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., supporters of Biafra also often see Nnamdi Kanu in a similar light, not merely as an individual, because some people are looking at Nnamdi Kanu as an individual. Some are talking about his case as the case of an individual. I have been able to dispute this in my different videos and broadcasts. Some people look at him. That's why many people are not serious. The moment most Igbos and Biafrans begin to know that this case of Nnamdi Kanu and the imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu is beyond that single individual Nnamdi Kanu, the sooner they will start thinking right and doing the right things in order to ensure that he is released from the prison. You cannot just talk about IPOB without Nnamdi Kanu. You cannot just feel that, oh, you can move on, or the DOS can move on, oh, IPOB can move on without Nnamdi Kanu. It's a fat lie. It is not a fact. It is non-fact. Because individuals are identified. They are identified with their movement, with the movement they formed or they lead. How can you talk about the fight anti-apartheid without Nelson Mandela? You say, oh, he can perish. We'll raise another person to continue from where Mandela stopped. How can you talk about the civil rights movement and say, oh, Martin Luther King Jr., let him go to hell. He has made a mistake. We cannot continue with him. We will raise another person to lead the movement. Oh, this movement is bigger than him. Individuals are identified with the movement. This is a fact. Not merely as individuals, but as a symbol, And you know that symbols are so powerful. Symbol, you can do away with him and nobody will talk, nothing will happen. You can form another leader, you can elect or appoint another leader, nothing will happen. But once this individual has metamorphosed, has transformed into a symbol, you have to be careful how you handle his case. You have to be careful how you talk about secret or private things that has to do with him. You have to be careful not to jeopardize what he represents. Symbols are very powerful because symbols can survive imprisonment. Symbols can survive censorship. That's why IPOB, that's why Nnamdi Kanu survived. Do you know how many times his account on Facebook were disabled and he was banned, restricted? Still, he survived censorship. You know that when they started, nobody wanted to talk about IPOB, nobody wanted to talk about Nnamdi Kanu. Newspaper, there was news blackout from time to time. And he said something that I remembered. He said, I will not pay any newspaper, I will not pay any media, 1 naira, I won't pay you. But in the end, you will be forced to carry our story. And that is happening today. There is no media house today that don't talk about Nnamdi Kanu. In Nigeria, more especially. Down to the international media platforms. None. In fact, many of them, they want to have some of the headlines talking about Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra in order for them to have traction or traffic. That is the fact. But initially, there was censorship until Nnamdi Kanu becomes a symbol. As soon as he becomes a symbol, he survived censorship. Symbols, we are talking about symbol. Symbol can survive political opposition or persecution. Symbols. So history repeatedly demonstrates this. How true is it? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me that symbol survive censorship, symbol survive political persecution, political oppositions, symbol survive sabotage, betrayal? Do you agree with me? If you agree, type in the chat section, type in the comment. Now, let's bring in scripture and biblical parallel. Joseph in prison. Joseph. The story of Joseph is so fascinating. You know that Joseph received a promise of greatness through his dreams. Then everything appeared collapsed when he was imprisoned. Do you still remember the story of Joseph? You remember the betrayal, you remember the sabotage, you remember that he was sold, you remember the wife of Potiphar, you remember how he was thrown in the dungeon. I believe you remember. He was sold, he was betrayed, he was falsely accused, and he was imprisoned for about 20 good years. 20 good years. Nobody talks about him, nobody made mention of him. For years, nothing looked successful for him in his case. For years, nothing looked victorious. For those number of 20-something years, about 20 years, nothing looked prophetic. The prophecy over his life about his greatness was like a fake prophecy. The prophecy about his greatness was like there is no proof. The prophecy he received about his greatness was like it will never come to pass. Joseph. Yet, the process continued without any obstruction. All of this, we are being converted spontaneously, simultaneously to the path that will eventually bring his prophecy and his dream to full manifestation. Nothing looked victorious, nothing looked successful. Everything was like, no. This dream is fake, it's not going to happen. This vision is a waste of time. The more I continue to hold on to it, the more I lose the best alternative that I'm supposed to be talking about right now. That was the case of Joseph. The process continued. After the prophecy of his greatness came to pass, in Genesis chapter 15 verse 20, his brethren came. You know the story. And when he now introduced himself and they were able to identify him, to their own shame and humiliation, they wanted to disappear from his presence. He said, no, there's no need for all that. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good in order to preserve life. As you can see it today, that you are surviving the famine today is because I am the prime minister and I am in charge of food in Egypt, both in food production, in food preservation, and in food distribution in commercial quantity. But you intended to harm me. You intended it for evil. Oh, how can he be a king? How can he rule over us? How can we bow before him? You never knew that God had proposed it that way in order to preserve your life, such as this time. You betrayed me. You threw me into a pit where there is no water. You drew me out of the pit and sold me to the Ishmaelites, the merchants, and they sold me to Egypt. I was bought and made a slave. I was accused and eventually thrown into a prison for 20 years. All of this did not destroy my vision, did not counter the authenticity of my prophecy and my greatness and my dream. Today, You are all witnesses. You intended it for evil, but God has intended it for good. That is the truth. They concluded that indeed we were fools. They discovered it, and they agreed with Joseph that indeed we were fools. Those who believe that all that they are doing in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, they don't want him to come out, they want him to rot in prison. Oh, he will succumb to pressure, and then he will give up on the struggle, and then he will disavow or disown IPOB, and then we'll be able to collapse IPOB, and then we'll be able to kill him. All of these things you are doing, and you think that you are harming Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. God is converting all of them to his good. Those who are betraying him and blackmailing him, thinking that, oh, when he hears it in the prison, he's going to give up, and then he's going to accept the offer of the government and then abandon the struggle, so that everybody will now say, oh, he has betrayed us. You want to harm his integrity, you want to harm his name. You intended all these things to harm him, but God is converting them to his good. That is what is going on now. So the lesson of Joseph is very simple. Sometimes people judge a journey too early. They conclude that because the destination has not been reached, nothing has happened. But history often reveals that progress happens even when people least expect it or take notice of it. Joseph emerged from the prison to his greatness. As we all know, he became the first prime minister. And all Egypt and all over the world, they depended on him for food. The whole world was traveling to Egypt to buy food based on the economic blueprint of Joseph. Let's talk about the information war. The information war. Some of you don't know that information is a weapon of war. And also in the information arena is a battlefield. What I'm doing now is a battle. My teachings and preachings, enlightenment, education about Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra is a battle. The information war that many people are not taking note of. Some call it content creation. It is very important you understand this. Modern movements do not operate only in courtrooms. They operate in the information spaces. This may be one of Mike Arnold's strongest arguments. Okay? The battle today is often narrative versus narrative. And the battle is who controls the narrative. Number one, who tells the story? That is the area of this information war. Who tells the story about Nnamdi Kanu? Who should the world listen to? Should the world listen to the government, or should the world listen to people on ground, eyewitnesses? Who tells the story? Should the world listen to government-owned media platforms, televisions, radios, or sources of information? Or should the world be liberal and open-minded to even private and individual news outlets or platforms? That is the area of this war. Number two, who shapes public understanding? In this area of information war, this battlefield of information, who shapes public understanding? That thousands of people are killed in Nigeria every week. Hundreds are abducted every day. The videos are all over the social media. Some politicians of different countries, they see it, they watch it. The question on their mind, or the information war that they are looking into, is who tells the story? Who should tell the story? Who shapes public understanding? Number three, who influences perception? Who should influence the perception of the people about the narrative? Number four, who defines legitimacy? Some of them will tell you fact check. We fact checked it, it's photoshopped, it's AI, it's not real, it's not authentic. Who defines the legitimacy? Who is authorized to fact check that information that is being shared on the internet about the killings in Nigeria, about the case of Nnamdi Kanu, about the case of Biafra? That's why I said that it is the information war, and this war is in the area of narrative. Who tells the story? Who shapes public understanding? Who influences perception of the US government, Israel government, German government, French government, Russian government, China government? Who influences the perception? Who defines the legitimacy? Government understands this. Activists, they also understand this. Media organizations understand it very well. And all of them are fighting for narrative control. They are fighting for narrative control. Unfortunately, the public often does not understand what is going on. They don't understand that this is information war, and the war is narrative versus narrative. Who controls it? Who influences it? Who shapes the understanding of the people about the story? Yet, narratives influence politicians, who in turn influence the government policy every day. What has the Biafran independence movement done successfully so far? If you are just joining, I am God's servant, Maxwell Nnawuihe. This is the part 4. Look below this video. In the description below the video, you are going to see the links to the part 1, the part 2, and the part 3. Make sure that after now, you go to the part 1 if you have not watched it. Go to the part 2, click the link in the description below this video, and also watch the part 3. After this part 4, we will come to you with the part 5.
A very good evening to all the courageous Igbo youths across the world. Today, the 14th of June 2026, I have stopped to pass the night in Kaduna State on my way to Sokoto to visit Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I want to appeal to all the youths, because you are the courageous ones that I know and that I believe in the Southeast. The elders, majority of them, have betrayed the cause, but you have remained very courageous. Now, assuming without consenting that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did all the things that he has been accused of, all the things he has been accused of, worse than that Igboho did. Worse than that Sheikh Azekzaki of Zaria did. But the two personalities are today being honored and are living like great men, while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in Sokoto prison. Let's leave these two personalities. The bandits have just killed a retired general, a general in the Nigerian army. They are being pampered, they are being paid, they are being respected and honored. But because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said that my people are not being treated fairly, and if you don't want us to be part of this country, we would leave. What is bad about that? I don't see anything bad about that. Do not allow them, disgrace them whenever they come to the Southeast to campaign. How do you disgrace them? Don't come out. This I want to appeal to you passionately, because what is happening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is very bad. He should not be left in Sokoto prison. And let me tell you this. If you allow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to continue to languish in prison and vote for Ahmed Bola Tinubu, after the election, he will come after the remaining elders who still have conscience. The few ones who have conscience among the elders will be dealt with severely, and Igbos will be completely eroded. That is the game plan. If it's not a game plan, why is it that Sheikh Zazaki Igboho all are all being honored? Why is Nnamdi Kanu left in prison? I appeal to you passionately. I feel pain seriously because I have met and discussed with Nnamdi Kanu and I know what it stands for. Please, disgrace APC whenever they come for campaigns. Don't come out at all. That is how to deal with them, and don't vote for them until Nnamdi Kanu is released and is compensated. Thank you very much.
Subscribe on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow Maxwell Nnawuihe for more updates. Follow us on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram for more updates.